Hello, my name is Fausto Vega, and the topic of this presentation is styles of effective listening. So effective listening is listening that is tailored to a specific communication situation. And these listening styles depend on the purpose, the communication partner, and the type of message that is being sent or received. So the book explains 5 dimensions of listening, and we're going to cover them in this presentation. So the first type is empathetic and objective listening. So empathetic listening is when one listens with the intent to understand what a person means and what a person is feeling. And overall, this type of listening helps you enhance your relationships. On the other hand, objective listening, one measures the meaning and feelings of the person that they're listening to against some objectives. And some tips to practice these types of listening are to punctuate the messages from the speaker's point of view, engage in a two-way conversation, and to seek to understand feelings. The next type is non-judgmental and critical listening. So non-judgmental is when one listens with an open mind toward understanding and they suspend judgment. While critical listening, one listens with a view toward making an evaluation. So some tips to practice this are for one to avoid prejudging, avoid filtering complex messages, and to recognize one's biases, as this may affect the interaction. Another type is surface and depth listening. So surface listening is the literal meaning of words and sentences, while depth listening, one tries to find a deeper meaning, and it's usually used to appreciate other meanings that are not found in the literal statement. And some tips to practice this are to focus on verbal and nonverbal messages, as there can be a deeper meaning, and also to don't disregard the literal meaning, as sometimes the person may be saying exactly what they mean. Another type is polite and impolite listening, which is pretty much just the act of being polite while listening. Yet one can also practice impolite when listening to abusive language, such as sexist and racist language. And some tips to practice polite listening are to avoid interrupting the speaker, give supporting listening cues, such as nodding your head and maintaining eye contact, and also to show empathy with the speaker. Most of the time it's done via facial expressions. The next type is active and inactive listening. So active listening is the process of sending back to the speaker what you as a listener think the speaker meant. So it's putting your understanding of the speaker's messages into a meaningful whole. And some tips of practicing this are to paraphrase the speaker's meaning, express understanding of the speaker's feelings, and also to ask questions. So in the example that I'm going to be showing, it's an example of active listening from the Big Bang Theory. So it's an interaction between Amy and Sheldon, and they're having a conversation between the Xbox and PS4 hardware. But previously, Amy wasn't interested and avoided eye contact with Sheldon, as she had no input in the conversation. Yet Sheldon expressed his concerns, and this was Amy's response.
Okay, now, the PS4 is more angular and sleek looking.
No way!
It's true, but the larger size of the Xbox One may keep it from overheating.
You wouldn't want your gaming system to overheat?
No, see, you absolutely would not. And furthermore, the Xbox One now comes with a Kinect included.
Included?
Yes. Not sold separately. Although the PS4 uses cool new GDDR5 RAM, while the Xbox One is still using the conventional DDR3 memory.
Why would they still be using DDR3? Are they nuts?
See, that's what I thought. But then they go in.
So an analysis is before this conversation, she avoided eye contact and was uninterested. And then Sheldon expresses concerns. And then she sarcastically participated in active listening, but she did a pretty good job, as she checks her understanding by paraphrasing questions. She acknowledges and accepts Sheldon's feelings about how he feels about different hardware being in each console. And she also stimulates Sheldon to explore his feelings and thoughts as he keeps on going and bringing new facts, as she stimulates it with questions or paraphrasing what he was telling her. So a conclusion is pretty much to listen based on the situation and to keep an open mind when listening, to be non-judgmental and participate in active listening to ensure both the speaker and the listener get the best out of the interaction. The discussion question is to discuss an experience in which you used one of the styles of effective listening and why you chose to listen in that manner. Thank you.